He finally said it. After everything. After all the years of defiance, all the promos, all the carefully constructed walls of pride and stubbornness and refusal that CM Punk has built around himself throughout one of the most complicated, most controversial, most brilliantly executed careers in the history of professional wrestling, he finally looked Roman Reigns in the eye and acknowledged him. Not as a fan, not as a peer offering professional respect, not as a veteran recognizing another veteran across the landscape of a shared industry. CM Punk acknowledged Roman Reigns as the standard, as the measuring stick, as the one man in WWE whose challenge cannot be deflected, cannot be redirected, and cannot be intellectually dismantled with a microphone and a cutting promo no matter how sharp the words are. And Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the most dominant force in the history of WWE's modern era, issued his challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania with the kind of calm, absolute, terrifying certainty that only a man who has already decided the outcome can project. This is the match. Not a match. The match. The collision that the wrestling world has been circling for years, talking about in whispered conversations and passionate debates, imagining and reimagining in every possible scenario, and it is now official. Roman Reigns vs. CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Drop a comment right now. Tell me, did you ever genuinely believe you would see the day CM Punk acknowledged Roman Reigns? And do you think Punk walks out of WrestleMania still champion? Comment immediately. Share this video because every single wrestling fan on the planet needs to be part of this conversation. And do not leave before the end because the specific moment Punk acknowledged Reigns and the words he used when he did it will give you chills. Before we break down every single layer of this historic, jaw-dropping, industry-shaking development, if you are new to Ring Rumble 1, welcome to the channel that has been covering WWE with the depth, the passion, and the unfiltered honesty this business deserves. We do not do highlight reels here. We do not skim the surface and move on. Every video on this channel is built to give you the complete picture, the context, the history, the real significance behind the moments that define WWE. Hit that subscribe button right now. Smash that notification bell and turn on all notifications, because Roman Reigns vs. CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania is going to generate the most compelling, most hotly debated content this channel has ever produced. Every promo breakdown, every development, every twist between now and the biggest night in sports entertainment gets covered right here. Subscribe. Bell on. Let's get into this. To feel the full, overwhelming significance of Roman Reigns challenging CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, to understand why Punk acknowledging Reigns is not just a storyline beat but a genuinely historic moment, you have to understand what these two men represent individually and what they represent in opposition to each other. CM Punk is the ultimate outsider who came inside and rewrote the rules. His entire identity in professional wrestling is built on the refusal to conform, the refusal to accept the established hierarchy, the refusal to acknowledge that any system or any person has authority over him that he has not personally granted. The pipe bomb, the walkout, the return. Every chapter of CM Punk's story has been defined by his absolute, unwavering insistence on existing on his own terms regardless of the cost. That defiance is not performance. It is not character work in the traditional sense. He walked into the center of it, seized control of it, and made it his personal instrument of dominance. The head of the table demanding acknowledgement from the one man in WWE who has spent his entire career refusing to acknowledge anyone, that is not just a wrestling match. That is a philosophical collision. A clash of identities so fundamentally opposed that the outcome carries meaning far beyond whatever happens inside the ring at WrestleMania. And now CM Punk has acknowledged him. The outsider just bowed, however slightly, however reluctantly, to the system. And the implications of that moment are still reverberating through every corner of this industry. The manner in which Roman Reigns issued his challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship tells you everything you need to know about where the tribal chief's head is right now. Because Roman does not issue challenges. Roman does not ask for matches. Roman does not position himself as a challenger, that is a role for other people. Lesser people, people who have not yet established the kind of undeniable dominance that removes the need to chase anything. So when Roman Reigns stepped forward and directed his attention towards CM Punk and the World Heavyweight Championship, it was immediately understood by everyone watching that this was not a challenge in the traditional sense. This was a declaration. This was the tribal chief informing CM Punk, and informing WWE, and informing the entire wrestling universe, that the World Heavyweight Championship now exists within Roman's field of interest, and that anything within Roman's field of interest eventually becomes Roman's property. The delivery was everything you would expect from the most polished, most commanding presence in WWE today. No raised voice. No desperation. No performance of hunger or ambition designed to generate crowd response. Roman stood in that ring with the relaxed authority of a man making a business decision and informed CM Punk that WrestleMania was the destination and the World Heavyweight Championship was the prize. He then did something that took the entire arena completely off guard. He turned to CM Punk directly, not to the crowd, not to the camera, not to the general direction of an absent rival, and he asked the question. The question. The one that Roman Reigns has built his entire recent legacy around. The question that has broken factions, ended friendships, and altered the trajectory of careers across the entire WWE roster. He asked CM Punk to acknowledge him. The silence that followed was one of the most electric moments Raw has produced in recent memory. Because everyone in that building, everyone watching at home, understood the weight of what was being asked. CM Punk acknowledging Roman Reigns is not a simple yes or no. It is a statement about identity, about hierarchy, about who holds genuine power in WWE. It is the question that CM Punk, of all people, should be constitutionally incapable of answering in the affirmative. And then CM Punk answered it. What CM Punk did in response to Roman Reigns' demand for acknowledgement is being discussed, debated, and dissected in every corner of the wrestling world right now, and for good reason. He said that being challenged by Roman Reigns is the confirmation that he, CM Punk, has built something as World Heavyweight Champion that cannot be ignored. And then, in the pause that followed, in the breath between sentences that CM Punk has always used as a weapon more dangerous than any finishing move, he smiled. And he said that acknowledging the standard is exactly how you know where to aim when you intend to surpass it. The arena exploded. Because CM Punk had done the impossible. He had acknowledged Roman Reigns without surrendering an inch of himself. He had given Roman the words while keeping every ounce of the power. He had looked the tribal chief in the eye and essentially said, "Yes, you are everything you claim to be. And at WrestleMania, I am going to prove that everything you are is not enough." Roman's expression in the immediate aftermath of Punk's acknowledgement is the detail that everyone needs to pay close attention to. Because it was not the satisfied, dominant reaction of a man who had just received what he demanded. It was something more complex than that. Something that looked, for just a fraction of a second, like genuine recalibration. Roman Reigns has extracted acknowledgements from many people. But he has never received one quite like that. Roman Reigns vs CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania is not just the biggest match on the card. It is the match that defines what WrestleMania means in this era of WWE. It is the convergence of the two most compelling, most complete, most genuinely complex characters in the company onto the single stage that demands exactly that kind of collision. Consider what is at stake beyond the championship itself. For Roman Reigns, this is the opportunity to add the one title that has existed outside his orbit to a legacy that already stands as the most dominant in modern WWE history. The World Heavyweight Championship represented a new lineage, a separate power structure, and Roman Reigns absorbing it into his legacy would be the ultimate statement of total dominance. For CM Punk, this is the defining defense of a championship reign that he has built with the specific intention of proving that his return to WWE was not nostalgia but necessity. Defeating Roman Reigns at WrestleMania would not just be a championship defense. It would be the single most significant victory of his second run in WWE. The statement that puts every remaining question about CM Punk's place at the absolute top of this industry permanently to rest. 2 men, 1 championship, the grandest stage, and a philosophical collision that has been building for years finally arriving at the moment it was always meant to reach. CM Punk acknowledged Roman Reigns. The challenge is made. WrestleMania has its main event. And the wrestling world will never stop talking about what happens when these two forces finally collide inside that ring. Comment right now, who walks out of WrestleMania as World Heavyweight Champion? Roman Reigns or CM Punk? This is the debate that needs to happen everywhere. Share this video with every wrestling fan in your life because this is the match of the decade and Ring Rumble 1 is covering every single moment of it. Ring Rumble 1, subscribe. Stay locked in. We will see you in the next one.